Hello there, I'm another Magento dev, and in this video we're going to continue with our theme development. Okay, let's jump in. Okay, welcome back. So this portion, we're going to look at it, continuing with the header. As I said in part whatever it was, we're going to change the menu. So we'd actually already removed the menu. Let's just fire up a web browser. I remember. We'd already removed the native menu, as you can see here, and also we've installed a. We're going to also change the mobile menu and maybe sort out these icons and stuff, but it's not super urgent. So right, what we're doing, so changing the menu. Now again, the choice whether to do this in the code or to do this in the choice whether to do this in the theme or to do this in a module is up to you. I prefer editing this portion of Magento in a module because once I've built it, I can basically install the module as I'm going to show you now, and it's going to spring to life. It's just going to work, and I'll explain how the module works in a second. It's dead simple. Obviously, mega menu can be many things to many people. Mega menu for me, in its most basic form, which is the one I'm going to show you, is a panel that overlays and basically fits more in it rather than a drop down of sort of hierarchy where you're opening different things at different times, which can be tricky for to navigate. So a mega menu is good for sites with big catalogs. So I would say get your designer designing sort of a more spacious menu, we'll call it, which can be termed as a mega menu. So we're going to bang the mega menu into this ASOS folder here. Alright, so there we go, mega menu. Now I'll just take you through it. So the point of a menu is to go get the categories. So the first thing that's going on here is we're going to get the top level categories for the store, and this is reflected in, as always, I'll go through these in a second, but a PHTML file at the other end that gets this this function, what I'm declaring here, and it brings back the top level of the store. Then basically I run through a menu, so it's a bunch of ULs and LIs. I've got a little detector here. It's dead simple, that says whether it's a parent, so it looks for the fact that it looks if it's got any children, and that's when this kicks in. So the get child categories by ID. So all I'm doing, again, there's loads of different ways you can do this, but in here I've got another function which takes an ID and then comes back with the cascading menu for that ID, and then if it does have children, it outputs the children, and then I'll let this happen 3 times, so it goes down to grandchildren as well, and basically that's how I so you can see here, get child categories, I'm calling it again. This is customizable to however many layers you're using on your site. I mean, I'd personally not advise the client to go any more than 3. It gets quite complicated, but we'll throw this in now, untested. I've not seen this run. We'll throw this in now, and we'll see what happens on the front end. So essentially, the final thing, what I'm just going to mention actually before I do that is, I know I've referenced this before in my theme, I mentioned it before, but the plugin itself is going to remove the default nav sections and then add in my mega menu to page top. And remember, we looked at page top a second ago. It's not strictly the header, it's the bit below the header. We looked at that in another tutorial here, where we was moving the top search to below nav sections, in the page top. Obviously we're removing this, so that becomes a little bit redundant, but we'll see what happens. So again, this is when to module, when to theme. This for me is easier to control and manage in a module. I might even upload this module to a little gist and attach it to this tutorial, this video. So the only things to make sure, if you're using it in your project, is to make sure, and if you're using modules across projects is to change the references, obviously, to the parent folder that you might be creating. You know, this could be called something else. You could use something generic, you know, my modules that you always use on every project, but I like to have a folder in my project which is named after the client in a way that I'm working with. It just makes it easier for me to remember what I've installed into certain installations of Magento, into certain solutions, and also if the client ever gets hold of your code, obviously it's nice for them to see that it looks like you've created bespoke things for them, which a lot of the time you do. You know, you modify it with every project. You just start from a simpler boilerplate just to make it faster, that's all. So yeah, the other areas just touch on are account links. So on this menu on a mobile, I append some sort of static account links to the bottom of the menu, and page links. Again, we can append those. I've got a little placeholder for them if I wanted to use them for mobile, which I don't generally use. But then the top, and this usually has a close button. This is where I would keep the close button. You know, just to divide it up into nice simple files that are all called, you know, through this one XML file, little you know, really small bit of code. So without any further ado, let's okay, so it's just finishing off its deploy now. I'll just say actually, I've had to run. Obviously, setup upgrade would enable the module, which is great. And in developer mode, to be fair, it'd probably all work and generate its dependencies and generate the static content that's required on the fly for a refresh the front end. But to be certain, because it is doing things on the front end, I just run like the main the big four commands, and I just want to show you in when I'm developing, if it helps anybody, I run them like this. So I run setup upgrade, I run di compile, static content deploy for the regions, I flush the cache, then I disable the free caches that sort of are problematic when you're developing. So just by sort of having this in, I've got it on a little notepad, and then I just basically paste it in, and I just, you know, give it 5 minutes to do its thing. And then once I've got my Gulp Watch, which I'll just switch on now actually, running. So what I'll do is I'll just enable Gulp Watch, and then we'll have a look on the front end and make sure that it's built my environment and added the menu. So Gulp Watch. Okay, I'll also switch on live reload. There we go. And anyway, let's see, moment of truth. Hey, there we go. So we've got a menu of sorts, and as you can see, I mean, it's white. So I might make it a different colour to sort of to make the point. But what we've got here is basically two levels of a menu. We've got, you know, you can see there we've got women's, we've got tops. So let's have a look, see what it's done at mobile. Yeah, there we go. It's a nice little mobile menu. So we've got like some links at the bottom, as I mentioned. We've got an account at the little account links which link to the various places, and we've got you know, a basic top level menu there, and that's not working for some reason, but we'll figure out that. That's not important at the minute. But anyway, that's the mega menu. So what I'll do is I'll just tidy this up while we're on, while I'm on with it, and let's have a look at what we got. So it outputs the mega navigation, and then the mega navigation inner, and the mega navigation inner probably could do with now you might notice I'm not editing the modules, the module CSS in the module. I'm doing it in my theme. the reason I do that is because, one, I like all my CSS to be in one place, because if I've got a number of modules by the end of a project and I've got a number of different SAS files, SCSS files all scattered through all the modules, I don't like working like that. I mean, you can work like that, I just don't like it. The other reason is you're encouraged to use less in a module, less CSS, and then that's another compilation and another way of compiling. And to be honest, I think when I've already got my workflow set up so neatly in my theme, I think it's going to be. I just like to keep everything there, just for speed of development. And every client's different. Every design's going to be different. Like, as long as it outputs the code in a basic form, you can go in and sort of make the changes as you wish then, and rather than having something too detailed in another right. And so there you go, just centralized it a little bit, just to show you, like, it's easy enough to just sort of edit and move around. I think I'll just change the background so we can see it a little bit better. Change the background of the wrong thing. Change the background of the overlay to make it. Where is it? There we go. Ah, yeah, it's missing some. Is it from the other project? Still not working. Why ain't it working? What have I done wrong? How about put a border around it? Yeah. Well, there you go. I've just put a border around the top and bottom. It's set to full width at the minute, but if I do like a margin, as you can see, it's all updating on the fly, which is pretty cool. Yeah, with it being fixed position. But basically, you get the idea. The more menu items you have, obviously, the better this works. But essentially what I wanted to achieve was replace the Luma Theme menu with something different, and as you can see, that's what we've done. So yeah, join us for the next one, the next tutorial. I don't know what part it'll be. I'll work it all out in editing, but it should come up. And I'll put them all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to release these all at once and put them in a playlist anyway, so everything should be all in one place. Okay, cheers, enjoy your day.